The sun dipped low over the horizon, casting golden hues across the sea near Yezlev Shamar, a quaint fishing village nestled along the rugged coastline of Ästerlen. The beach lay deserted, save for the distant silhouette of a cargo ship heading west. Legends whispered of pirates who once lured ships onto the treacherous reefs here, leaving behind sunken treasures and perhaps restless spirits. The air was thick with the scent of salt water and seaweed, and an eerie stillness hung over the dunes, as if the land itself was holding its breath. In the heart of this picturesque yet mysterious landscape stood a gated property labeled Eslövstrand, your dream lifestyle. Behind the sleek metal gates, construction crews worked tirelessly to transform the area into a luxury development, but not everyone welcomed the changes. Anonymous letters signed Nikolovius had begun appearing in local newspapers, warning of retribution against greedy developers. The letters were dismissed by some as pranks, but others felt a chill run down their spines. A moving truck rumbled down an unnamed dirt road toward the property. Inside sat two men, Ronnie, a burly driver with a no-nonsense attitude, and his wiry partner, Stibby. They exchanged uneasy glances as they approached the gates. Ronnie rolled down the window and pressed the intercom button. A sharp female voice crackled through the speaker. "Who's there?" "It's Ronnie from Ästerlendaflit," he replied, struggling to sound polite. "We've brought the sculpture." The gates creaked open, revealing a sprawling construction site. To one side stood a row of identical concrete foundations, while on the other loomed a single completed house, stark, modernist structure that seemed more like a fortress than a home. Its angular design and cold materials evoked a sense of unease, even as it promised opulence. Inside, Jessie Anderson paced impatiently. She was dressed impeccably, her blonde hair cascading down her shoulders, her high heels clicking against the polished stone floor. Her assistant, Ellen Sidenville, trailed behind her, clipboard in hand. "They're late," Jessie snapped, glancing at her watch. "They'll be here soon," Elin said softly, though she couldn't hide her own nervousness. When Ronnie and Stibby finally arrived, they were greeted with thinly veiled hostility. Jessie wasted no time issuing orders. "The sculpture goes downstairs, in the living room," she instructed. "Downstairs?" Ronnie frowned. "No one mentioned stairs in the delivery instructions." Elin consulted her documents. "It's a split-level house. The living room is on the lower floor, accessible via a staircase." Reluctantly, the movers got to work. The sculpture, a massive metal hook nearly 7 feet tall, was unwieldy and heavy. As they maneuvered it down the stairs, Elin watched anxiously, her mind racing. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The sculpture felt ominous, its jagged barb pointing inward like a threat. Once the installation was complete, Jessie inspected it with a satisfied smirk. "Perfect," she declared. "This will be the centerpiece of our marketing campaign. It'll distract critics while drawing buyers." But Ellen wasn't convinced. She'd read the anonymous letters signed Nikolovius, warning of retribution against developers who dared to exploit Ästerlen. The words echoed in her mind. "The hour of reckoning is near. The guilty will pay dearly for their greed." As night fell, chaos erupted. Flames licked at a dumpster outside, illuminating graffiti scrawled across Jessie's pristine white Porsche. "Scum." A shadowy figure emerged briefly, gesturing menacingly before vanishing into the darkness. Jessie refused to call authorities, insisting on handling it quietly. "We're not giving these cowards the satisfaction," she hissed. But as smoke cleared and tensions rose, it became clear that someone or something was determined to stop them. Expanding the story further, Elin couldn't sleep that night. The image of the burning dumpster and the shadowy figure haunted her. She replayed the events over and over in her mind, trying to make sense of what had happened. Was it just vandalism, or was there something more sinister at play? The letters signed Nicolovius had been dismissed by Jesse as nonsense, but Elin couldn't shake the feeling that they were a harbinger of something darker. The next morning, Ellen arrived at the property early. She found Jesse already there, pacing furiously in the kitchen. "Where's my coffee?" Jesse barked, glaring at Ellen. "I'll get it right away," Ellen replied, suppressing a sigh. As the day wore on, tensions between Jesse and Elin grew. Jesse's temper flared at every minor inconvenience, while Elin struggled to maintain her composure. The atmosphere at Eslövstrand was becoming increasingly toxic. Meanwhile, rumors about the incident spread through the small community. Locals whispered about the curse of Ästerlen, claiming that the land was angry and would not tolerate outsiders exploiting its resources. Some pointed to the legend of the pirates, suggesting that their spirits still roam the coastline, seeking vengeance on those who disturbed their resting place. Detective Peter Winston arrived in Jezlev later that week. He had been called in to investigate the escalating tensions surrounding Eslövstrand. A seasoned investigator, Peter was known for his methodical approach and keen eye for detail. But this case was unlike any he had encountered before. As Peter delved deeper into the mystery, he uncovered a web of secrets connecting the key players. Jesse Anderson's real estate empire was built on shaky foundations, with allegations of corruption and illegal land deals surfacing. Meanwhile, Ellen Sidenval's loyalty to her boss began to waver as she grappled with her own conscience. One evening, Peter met with Christina Löwengelme, his ex-wife, and a psychologist to discuss the psychological profile of the person behind the threats. Whoever this Nicolovius is, they're highly intelligent and deeply committed to their cause, Christina explained. They see themselves as a protector of Ästerlen, willing to go to extreme lengths to stop development. Peter nodded thoughtfully. But how far are they willing to go? The question lingered in the air, unanswered, building tension and adding new elements. As the days passed, strange occurrences became more frequent. Tools went missing from the construction site, and workers reported hearing footsteps in empty rooms. One night, a security guard claimed to have seen a figure in black standing on the cliffs overlooking the sea, watching the property. Elin began to feel as though she was being followed. Whenever she turned around, there was no one there, but the sensation persisted. She confided in Tove Esping, the junior detective assigned to assist Peter Winston. "I don't know what to do," Ellen admitted. I'm scared, but I can't leave. Jesse would kill me if I quit now," Tove reassured her. "Just stay vigilant. If anything happens, call me immediately." But Ellen knew she was trapped. Jesse's grip on her was tightening, and the pressure was becoming unbearable. One fateful evening, everything came to a head. A violent storm swept through Ästerlen, bringing with it torrential rain and howling winds. At Eslövstrand, the power went out, plunging the property into darkness. Jesse and Ellen huddled together in the living room, the looming sculpture casting eerie shadows on the walls. Suddenly, they heard a loud crash from upstairs. "What was that?" Elin whispered, her voice trembling. "I'll check it out," Jesse replied, grabbing a flashlight. But as she ascended the stairs, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the house. Adding more depth and subplots, Peter Winston and Tove Esping arrived at Eslövstrand shortly after the scream. The scene was chaotic. Workers were gathered outside, murmuring nervously, while Jesse and Ellen stood in the doorway, visibly shaken. "What happened?" Peter asked, his voice calm but firm. "There's someone inside," Ellen stammered. "We heard a scream." Peter motioned for Tove to follow him as they entered the house. The beam of his flashlight cut through the darkness, revealing overturned furniture and signs of a struggle. In one corner, They found a man lying unconscious, his face obscured by a ski mask. "Call an ambulance," Peter instructed Tove. Meanwhile, Ellen pulled Jesse aside. "We need to tell them everything," she urged. "No," Jesse snapped. "If we say anything, it'll only make things worse." Ellen hesitated. She knew Jesse was hiding something, but she also feared the consequences of speaking out. As the investigation unfolded, Peter discovered evidence linking Jesse to a series of shady land deals. It seemed that her ambition knew no bounds, and she was willing to do whatever it took to achieve her goals. But the real question was, who was behind the threats? And how far were they willing to go to stop her?